everyone, welcome back to Learning with Teacher Pat. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a really fun activity that involves toilet paper rolls and pom-poms. And what we're going to make today is called pom-pom color sorting chutes. And we're going to turn these into a chute or a tunnel for our pom-poms to go down. So let's go over our the supplies that we need. So obviously, guys, the first thing that we're going to need is toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls. I know everyone has these in their house right now. Don't throw these away because you can make so many things with this. The next thing you're going to need is pom-poms in assorted colors. You can easily get these at the dollar store. You're also going to need some kind of tape. I just have masking tape. Painter's tape would totally work too. A tray of some kind. You can even use a cookie tray. And if you want to, I'm going to paint my paper towel rolls with paint. If you don't have paint at home, you can also use markers or crayons, but paint is just a lot faster and the colors show up more. And then paintbrushes and things to hold your paint. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out what colors to paint our chutes. So I'm going to do 5 chutes. So I'm going to choose 5 of the most pom-poms, 5 colors of the most pom-poms that I have in my bag. And those were the 5. And then I'm going to sort them out to see how many I have. Once I figured that out, then I'm going to gather them all them up and put them in a bucket, and we're going to use that for later. And the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to design our chutes. Now, you definitely can have your kids help you at this part. I decided to do this because I wanted to surprise my son. And basically what we're doing is we're making different tunnels and pathways for our pom-poms to fall down these chutes. And I am making gaps in between mine because I want him to be able to see. And there you go, there's 5 and I'm good to go. Now we are going to paint them. So I'm going to mix my own paints here, guys. You definitely don't have to use paints. You can color the outside of the tubes with markers and crayons, but paints is so much faster. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting in yellow and a few drops of blue to make green. You really don't need a lot of blue for that, guys. But the more blue you put, the darker it will be. Next, I'm doing pink, and that's just white with a couple drops of red. And if you do this with your kids, which we've done many times in our class too, they really love seeing the colors mix, guys. It's such a cool science for them to see. And I know how a lot of parents feel about paints. I was very apprehensive about it too as a mom of a young child, but you know what? They learn so much from it. They learn a lot of patience and listening for sure. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint my tube green. As you can see, it's pretty light. So I will be painting a second coat on that later. The next color that, and of course this part you can definitely have your kids help. They would have such a blast. I would just put some newspaper down or something to protect your tables or floor. I'm just using an old cloth down there. The next color that I'm going to do is pink. Don't worry about those papers because your paints are going to cover it anyway. That's the nice thing about paints. So I'm going to keep painting, and then these are, after I painted all of them, the green, the yellow, and the pink, I had 2 layers of paint on there. The blue and the red were fine. And letting them dry. This is the next day, and look at how nice and vibrant all those colors are. The pink and the green and the yellow, again, were 2 layers of paint, but the blue and the red were just 1. So before you assemble your chutes, it's really important to know your height of the tallest of where your chute should be. Your kids should be able to reach it without having to step on their tippy toes. And that's what I did with Austin. I just went to see how far his arm would reach at a comfortable reaching point. And now I am just ripping off a long piece of masking tape. Use whatever you feel comfortable on your walls. I happened to choose this spot because I liked that it had a corner where the bookshelf was, and it's also an area in the house where I can see my son wherever I am, whether it's in the kitchen or the living room. So yeah, you want to make sure that you do use a long enough piece of tape to go to tape it fairly tightly to the wall. That way you don't have to keep fixing it. But once you have it sturdy on there, and you want to make sure that they match too. Notice how I'm putting a gap in between mine because I want him to be able to see where the balls are going. So here we go. We're trying it out. There you go. Ta-da! Went down the hole. And I'm going to continue doing it for the rest of them. All right. So here is the finished product. As you can see, I put gaps in between them all for just different sensory play. That way my son has a choice of whether or not he wants to put the holes down the different chutes. And there's trays on the bottom to catch the pom-poms so they don't go everywhere. And let's test it out. So this is where the pom-poms come into play. You have your kids match the color of the pom-pom to whatever the tube is. And just let them have fun. Don't be frustrated if they don't put the right color down the right tube. It's them having fun. That's the way that they're learning, and just let them have fun. It's great hand-eye coordination, learning colors, and that pinching movement is a great motor skill, parents. Let's try it out on Austin now. So before you let your kids play, I highly suggest going over some ground rules about this activity. Like just letting them know that the purpose is to sort the colors and let them go down the chute and showing them the different ways like I am with Austin. Again, I can't stress, please don't get frustrated with your kids if they don't quote unquote follow the rules of the game, because this is the way that they're learning. It took me a long time to learn that. I used to get really frustrated with him, like right now, for example, he's not supposed to do that, but you know what? I turned it into you know what, buddy, you got to clean up those pom-poms if you want to play. So shortly after this, I made him clean it up, and it was his consequence. If you don't clean up the pom-poms, then we don't get to play with this activity. So I let him play with it for a little bit, and then after that, we cleaned it up, and then he was able to continue. So here you can see he's just goofing around. He's just a big goofball. Well, parents, that's all there is to this color sorting pom-pom chutes activity. I hope you have the time to find some time to do this with your kids. It's a great fine motor activity, and it's a great way to use up those toilet paper and paper towel rolls. Remember, don't get rid of them. You can do so many things with it. Have fun. Bye.